And thanks for tuning in today. We are going to be discussing exploring biodiversity and disturbances in the peri-urban forests of Thessaloniki, Greece. Presentation by Isis Granlund, and the studies are from the Forestry Department of the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki. Today on our agenda, we'll be introducing our research topic, discussing our methods, discussing results, and discussing our conclusions. So, what is going on in Thessaloniki? Pictured here is from the top of a hike in the Seisu forest of Thessaloniki. The city is surrounded by peri-urban forests, and these forests are home to much of the area's biodiversity and have been subject to human intervention since the Ottoman Empire took the area in the 1800s. The value of these natural areas is vital and irreplaceable, and beginning in the 1930s, there's a significant move for reforestation captained by the Forestry School of Aristotle University, Thessaloniki. The efforts were very successful, and over 5 million trees were planted from 1929 through 1989. So, what is so disturbing, and what is the point? Researchers from the Aristotle University believe that the floristic qualities of forests were being degraded through anthropocentric activities. They were interested in seeing how the biodiversity index would be rated in 6 forest ecosystems types within the peri-urban forests. Pictured is a fire in the peri-urban forest from the Greek City Times in 2023. Researchers sought to gain more quantitative data about the specific biodiversity in these areas and how the anthropological activities impact the diverse collective ecological functioning. The 6 ecosystem types are based off the dominant flora found within the area. So, the 6 ecological types within the forest. The first one is the maki vegetation in the Seisu. Second is Pinus brutia forests, and also in the Seisu. The last 4, Pinus nigra, I can't say all those words, but those are all the different types. And the last 4 are in the Mount Horatiatus region, which is higher and further away from the city. And in these pictures, you can see a direct picture of each of our land plot use types. So, methods to the madness. The study was carried out in 2 peri-urban forest areas, the Seisu and the Mount Horatius. In total, there's 26 plots were canvassed. Maki vegetation was 5 plots. Most of them were 5 plots of 200 meters, 300 meters, and the last 3 were 3 plots of 300 meters. So, visits in these areas were undertaken throughout 1 year to gather observations, samples, and photographs. Plant sampling was conducted from April 2nd through May 22nd of 2021. These plots of lands were specifically chosen in areas about 30 meters from the road and places that were accessible to visitors. Elevation, exposure, and tree height were all recorded. They also made a record of observed disturbances to gain more insight into the human pressures on these ecosystems. Along with the general data on climate and disturbances, they recorded all plant species that appeared within each plot and ranked their abundance using the Doman scale. Over 95% of plants were able to be identified to their species level, and the remaining 5% was identified to their family level. They also compared the plant species to determine which were native and which were invasive or non-native alien species. Along with this, they made a ranking of each plant's ability to survive disturbances and strength within the ecosystem. The results of the study. This is a table that's discussing each ecosystem type along with the total plant richness, the tree layer, the number of species for shrubs, trees, and ground layer. From this data, we can clearly see that the Phagus sylvatica was the lowest amount of plant richness, and the highest was the Quercus frenato. So, further analysis of the soil shows great differences between the 2 regions studied. The Seisu region was closer in proximity to the city, which led to higher degradation, and in contrast, the Mount Horatius plots were at a higher altitude. In the mountainous region, there was a greater tree story, with height of trees being much greater than the lower Seisu region. Soil in the Seisu is neutral, while more acidic in the mountainous area. Fewer species and less biodiversity was found in the lower Seisu region. The Shannon Biodiversity Index varied greatly, with the highest level of biodiversity being found in the Castanea sativa plots. Conclusion. It appears that the mountainous regions are subjected to less anthropocentric activity, mainly being littering and domestic animal grazing. It also appears that these mountainous regions have higher levels of biodiversity and a higher ability to withstand disturbance. Overall, healthier ecosystems. There's a call in the article for conservational policies and legislation to be implemented. And it's clear that these two regions vary greatly from soil composition to type of vegetation to the stage of succession that the area will be able to reach. Pictured here is actually a photo of me when I was in Greece, and although I did not go to Thessaloniki, this is me on the island of Seriphos. Thank you for watching. Thank you for a great quarter. I appreciate your time, and Godspeed.